Shalom. I greet you in the name of the Most High, Yeshua, Yahushua, Yawashua, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yah. My name is Brother Yadan. Today, something as I always like to touch on are my chosen people and the life that they're living in a strange land, living in the land of the heathens, taking on the customs of the heathens. The Most High said our body was a temple. It was precious. It was His. When I look at the young Hebrews of today, I see their identity represented by printed marks in the 1600s, described by the scholars, the Puritans, the true keepers of the true knowledge of the Most High and research, validated that the Most High is against what we use today in modern terminology is tattoos. Our bodies are temples, and to display what we've displayed in marking our bodies from our heads to our toes, to see the young males, my Hebrew, the way they discard their bodies, the way they show off, the way that they are being portrayed as savage. Savage is to abuse something that the Most High intended for you to represent Him. And our young females, to see the scars, the tissues, the engravings, the marks, the symbols, the representatives of those that they love that are gone. He does not think highly of us describing those things that we do as things that represent Him. God sees the heart. He said, and our motivation for anything other than to represent Him, He would be jealous. When we look at the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 28, cutting for the dead, He said, you will not make in your flesh. And writing marks upon you, you will not make in your flesh. He told you that He is Yahuwah, your God. The word tattoo did not exist until the 1700s. In the early 1600s, at the research, as I spoke earlier about the scholars that King James sent out with speaking multitudes and multiple languages, up to 20 languages that these scholars, Puritans, went out and did the true putting together of the immaculate book that is called God's Words, the Holy Bible. Basic instruction before leaving earth. He tells us that in Deuteronomy 14:1, he says, you will not print marks upon you. Children of the Lord, you belong to Yahuwah. You shall not cut yourselves, not any baldness between your eyes for the dead, for thou art a holy people unto Yahuwah. God has chosen you as a people for Himself above all people upon the earth. Your body do not belongs to you. We're not as others are. We are a separate people because we are His chosen people. It may seem vague and may seem repetitious when I keep describing about who we are. The emphasis of what we're doing in a heathen nation land, we've taken on the images of that land. And my chosen children, you are emulating things that cannot allow you and will not permit you to get to the kingdom of God. You don't put any prints or marks for people that your loved one that has been deceased and are waiting themselves. Spirit back to the Most High. Souls. The souls are in a holding for the Most High. Time for judgment to come. You're not there with him. You're not there with your grandmother, your aunts, your uncles. You're in the grave. And these tattoos, these symbols that represent truly a people that have an identity that they are seeking to be as others. And that has been our downslide from coming out of Egypt. And we're suffering today in a land that negate to allow us to practice truly whom we are, to represent this earth, to show others how to be converts or to be grafted in. Tattoos, when you look at these young athletes, they probably exhibit more of what we see because of the media coverage, because of the money that my chosen children make. Their entire United States and their currency is based off of everything that we represent in our athletic skills: baseball, basketball, football. Now we're entering into hockey. We've dominated in all the sports in this country, and we have made money in every college: basketball, baseball, football, whatever it is. We have made money, and never have any of this money been invested back into our communities. But we mark ourselves with the land, with the symbols of the land. We mark ourselves with traditions and with memories of past years of loved ones. We are stuck in a dimensional way of not comprehending that we are not as these people that are in this land that we have been stolen and brought to. We have to recognize that the Most High has been patient with us. And he knows that the time is short, but we are the ones that are struggling with the time frame because we're just going along as it was in the days of Noah. And back in those days when they were cutting themselves and engraving themselves and putting marks on themselves, and as they are representing their gods and who they are, their identity, these are our marks of the beast. And we're walking in a symbolized world that the pagan world of the entire invasion of a Roman Empire institution that has dominated the entire world. From any type of religion that you want to call, from Muslims to the Arabs and the Muslims to the Islam, to any other branch of, I would say, anywhere in Europe, anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, anywhere that the Ashkenazi and the Khazarians exist. These are the Edomites. Then the Edomites are trademarks of villainizing, of ways of capturing society and inbreeding in them their heathen ways and their traditions. And we have become accustomed to the traditions of the land as it was in past years, centuries, thousands of years. Our identity to be recognized as part of an institution in a land that never felt that we were part of anything constructive, to be productive of, to be anything that be credit to making a difference in a world that we ourselves built in this country. We are the founders, the architects of all of the engineering, the fields of whatever it is, the math that was needed to be equations on buildings, to be equipped to invent and to design and pattern and to do the things that only the chosen children could do, because throughout history we have been marked, and the tattoos that we're marked with today in society, when I look at these people that are marked, and when I see people get to the age, and the Most High will show you that once you get to a certain age, Satan will take over. The imps and the devils and all of his angels, the demonic ones that feature the look of demise when years are creeping up into the body being desecrated because of the malnutrition of Lucifer, invasion of all things that make you function and focus and become a foundation of a true body. And when you see a 75, 80-year-old person after the marking, engravings, and the printing of the body, it looks so demonic, and it looks very frightful to children to see someone that has marked themselves after they've seen themselves in the demise of their lives, that they become a human beast. Because the symbolic way of marking yourself as the beast of tattoo engraving, we have demonized ourselves trying to compete with what's in a environment that doesn't include us. You call yourselves Christians, you call yourself whatever type of denomination or religion you are. But as a chosen people, the Hebrews, I choose not to mark my body. I choose not to show Satan's representation of the beast that he's proven that he's taken over this world by putting his own symbol and the symbol of our people that are running around boasting, and because he's letting them live that luxurious life with what they've done on nothing but God's given skills and talent of what he intended their gifts to be given to the world to show how to improve all of our lives, to entertain our lives, to make lives around you better. But when you have an identity crisis, when you're looking for who you are through symbols and marks and engravings, there's a way that you will have to really seek help from a true believer in the Most High and the words that he show us through the scriptures and the archaeology representation of his great works of years of past that show that he exists, and that the proven fact that we have to see in order to believe. And as we saw in the book of John, I believe, when Timothy did not believe, when the Most High, Jesus, they call him Jesus, when Yeshua had came and spoken with the apostles, and Timothy wasn't there, and he said the only way he would believe is that he would have to see the holes in his side where he was pierced, and the prints in his hand and his feet, and then he would believe. But the second time that he appeared where the apostles were, Timothy jumped, what's his name? Thomas. He jumped down and begged forgiveness and asked for forgiveness for not believing because he had seen. But the Most High said, blessed is those that have not seen. You're blessed, Thomas, because you have seen, but blessed are those that have not seen. That those marks that we have engraved in our lives, we must get those marks, and we must ask the Most High to forgive us for marking our bodies to try to emulate the fashions and fads of today. Those fashions and fads can be forgiven if you ask the Most High to take those things that seem to make you higher in your own mind than you feel, that you have a way of identifying yourself to be competitive with others. to show that my display of the mark of the beast will get attention and it will give me accolades and show that I am of status. But my body is a temple, and my body belongs to the Most High. And to betray him by taking his body and using it as a way of recognizing who his most deceptive enemy, Satan, has reckoned with the Most High children to mislead them to other beliefs that they can be like the Most High if they choose to be themselves and to identify themselves as they don't have to answer to anyone. But when you mark yourself and when you show yourself through the designs of man, it is misleading to feel that your identity is more important than the Creator. And I emphasize Yahuwah. Yahuwah himself is the Creator. Yeshua is called Jesus. Yahuwah is the Most High himself, God all by himself. And God is not a man that he will accept the marks of the beast, the tattoos of man, to make himself feel of importance, to remember those of past years that have gone on, that have passed on, and are waiting for the judgment day, are waiting to be resurrected. And people are feeling that because my memories of where I carry on my shoulder, my heart, around me, the designs of the woman that I love, that is no more than abusing the body that he said was pure. It was a body that was sacred, a body that was his, a body that you did not alter, you did not tamper with. And I emphasize this, my brothers and sisters, because no one seemed to ever speak about what we see today in the fashion and fads of what the heathen nations that we're living in and what they do as what they feel is something that they don't have to answer to. But we have to answer to someone. We have a job that the Most High assigned us 4,800 years ago. After the Most High came, he ensured that those laws were enforced because a more perfect law came. And that more perfect law was when he went to the tree to be hung. There was no more marks. The tattoos were gone. We didn't have to find an identity because he was our identity. And I say to you, mark of the beast, the tattoos, take away those things that make you feel that you belongs. You belongs to the Most High. No one else. Your identity is to represent him, to show him how you live. Through you, others see him. And that's what I pray that my message to my brothers and sisters and to those that are wanting to be grafted in, I pray that you understand this thing that is of most important, that your body is a temple and your body is not yours. I gave this a lot of thought, and I asked many about what makes those designs that they have, what gives them a feeling of success and accomplishment or pleasing to what is on their mind or whom they've lost in their life. And it seems to bring peace to them, a lot say. But I feel that the only peace that you'll ever find, it's not with the marks, it's not with the engraving, it's not with the tattooing, it's not with the cutting, it's not with those things. It's finding peace with the Most High. And I'm going to close on this because this is 20 minutes. And I ended on 20 minutes because the Most High said, my name, and on this day, which is the Sabbath, I say unto you, the scepter in the house of David, and shalom to those that believe in the Most High. My children, chosen people, shalom, shalom.